Greetings, Dumelang, Molweni, Abusheni, Sanibonani, Goeiemiddag. We are in the Northwest Agriculture Museum, which is one of the 10th museum in the Northwest Province. Currently, we are in what they call another section of the museum called the Diggers Museum. In Afrikaans, they say it's the Delvers Museum. The Diggers Museum is named after the verb to dig. The people were fascinated to dig diamond, which they found in one farm 15 kilometers away from Lechtenberg called the Elandspreid Farm. This is where, according to written records, one boy who was playing in his father's farm came across a wonderful precious stone, which apparently happened to be the diamond. And the history teaches us it's an era that marked the discovery of diamond in this area. It was in the early 19th century, 1800s. In reality, we cannot say it is the discovery of diamond because indigenous communities have been using gold, platinum, diamond, you name them, for a variety of things. Our culture is symbiotically related to nature. We derive most of our cultural practices from our natural landscape. So what I wanted to say is what we call location of diamond that was found in a farm that I mentioned led to what I can say mushrooming of people who were hungry for riches, and most of them happened to be Europeans by that time who were from both the Dutch land or the Netherlands, who have now become known as the Afrikaner nation in South Africa. They flocked to that area together with other British and other nationalities to go and dig for that diamond, which was destined to make them rich. But then there was a lifestyle that they led, which was imposed as time goes on to the indigenous peoples of this place. One of them is a way of spirituality, the introduction of what I can say religion, which brought names like your NG Kerk or Catholic, Roman Catholic Church. You know those churches in our township. So this museum represents a church which was built in Bakerville, next to that farm where the diamond was discovered. Because now it became a mine now where people started to dig for diamond, but there were no much of regulations. So what is displayed, you would see the people holding spades and diggers, which were used to digging because there were no, what I can say, holes that people can go and collect that diamond. So they were just using those implements and tools to dig that particular diamond. So the lifestyle that they led was that of religious fashion, where they built a church to show how they congregated. So this church shows how on Sundays they will go to a church and sit in front of a preacher man who will preach to them the so-called word of God, which I know that, that this word of God, when it was introduced to the local people or indigenous communities, it was not a process of us accepting it and a request from them. It was a forceful process. The history of slavery tells you about that. The history of imperialism, the history of colonialism, ending up with the history of apartheid, which has intrinsic relationship with people and their relationship to land. And there has been various legislations which were passed, which led to the confiscation of land, or what I can say, arable land from the indigenous communities to the Europeans who happened to be farmers. And some of them became industrialists who happened lately to become capitalists. And those are the people who were mining, as I said. So the church, it's a history of that said history, and that object that is depicted next to it, it shows that in the process of digging, again, the holes became deeper and deeper and deeper. So if the holes becomes deeper, it's not safe to go down and deep. So they had to devise means of how they can go down these holes to go and continue digging for more diamond. So that's how machineries were invented, so that they can begin to penetrate the land underneath. And as you know, the history of mining now, there are technologies that are advanced, which are mainly of machines that would take people like lifts, take people from top to down to the top. And so this machinery only shows that it was used to send certain tools down there to the diggers to just fill in the the fossils and the remains and the diamonds that they were digging into these containers, and this machine will pull it up and transport it to smaller nyana. They call them magalane. It's the smaller nyana trains that were used to deliver what was dug outside to another stage, so that they can process that, separate the rocks and the soil from, separate the diamond from the rocks and the soil, so that they can, go in on the market and sell the diamond. And apparently one of the so-called black diamond that was found in that area was brought to the museum. But there is no reality as to which museum, and there is no full files that shows where exactly the diamond is. So one will have to explore more records to find out where can one locate the diamond. So behind this museum, you find the two houses. The two houses that are showing how the people lived in that era in the early 19th century, as I mentioned, when they were digging for diamond and making themselves richer and richer using the natural resources of the land. So the houses are built using, the one of them was built using wood which was carved in flat format, so that it could be pegged on top of each other to make a sheet, so that it looks like a corrugated iron. And the other one is a pure corrugated iron. As you could see, the church is also made from strong corrugated irons. You'll never find these corrugated irons anymore, anywhere. Some of the corrugated irons that I've seen, they can even bend this like a paper, to show that mass production, which led to the production of a whole lot of goods for consumption, has become very selective and it's now led by what I can say it's profit making. Hence, people are making low quality materials so that they can get more profit. In those days, the materials were more quality. You could match the price to the quality of an item. So yeah, this is the Diggers Museum in the Northwest Agriculture Museum in Lechtenberg, located in the Ditsobota local municipality in the Ngakabo-Molema district, which is one of the 4 districts of Northwest Province found in South Africa, which is made up of the total of 9 provinces. And the Northwest is predominantly Botswana speaking area. Obviously, we have a substantial percentage of the African-speaking peoples, which are the African nationalities or nation, and the colored nation as well. And we also have got pockets of the Indian people. We do also have got other indigenous peoples who have got the history in this province. The people from Swaziland called the Zazu. You've got Xhosa speakers, you've got Zulu speakers, Venda speakers, Sotho speakers, Bapedi. So it's a diverse province, if I may say so, but it's predominantly Botswana. And Lechtenberg is predominantly African speaking. So that was the history of church. I give thanks.